to your grace. Artists lay their hearts for us to see. In the Culture Corner where we're all free. Culture Corner, tell your tale today. Voices rising like the dawn's first ray. Culture Corner, pave the path that's bright. Bringing dreams alive by the mic's light. Entrepreneurs with visions bold and clear. They chase their dreams without a trace of fear. Sharing wisdom to uplift and inspire. At the Culture Corner, we spark that fire. Culture Corner, tell your tale today. Voices rising like the dawn's first ray. Culture Corner, pave the path that's bright. Bringing dreams alive by the mic's light. Listeners tune in from far and wide, drawn to stories where hope can't hide. Bound by the beats and the shared desire. In the Culture Corner, souls ignite with fire. Culture Corner, tell your tale today. Voices rising like the dawn's first ray. Culture Corner, pave the path that's bright. Bringing dreams alive by the mic's light.
What is going on, you guys? It is your girl Coffee B, and we are back for another episode of the Culture Corner. Thank you guys for tuning in, checking in, engaging, interacting, all that good stuff. How you guys liking the Culture Corner so far? Like, it's going okay? Y'all like the interviews? You got your chance to be on this couch too. But today, just like every day, we have, today's a little different. We have a special episode today. Today's episode is grief, healing, and honoring our babies, okay? Today's episode is about child loss, and that comes in many different forms and many different stages. So I'll start with my story for those who don't know. If you're new here, my name is Shauna. I also go by Coffee B. I lost my son last year, May 29th of 2024. We were in a car accident, and unfortunately, my son didn't make it. I'll get into more of the logistics later because people, they hear certain things and then they form their own narrative about things that happened or what happened, or they don't know the whole story. But I'm not the only one with this story. What happens is when you lose a child, you become a part of this like secret society that you never thought you wanted to be a part of. And throughout my journey, I've been introduced and I've made connection with other parents who have lost their children. So I have Rico here, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but I just want to let you know who I have on the panel. I have Rico. I have Miss Maya. I also have Miss Finesse. And then to help guide this conversation, not only to keep us on track, but to give us some biblical, godly context, we have Pastor ReGina. And I'm going to let everyone introduce themselves in their own title. So I am going to start with Rico. Let us know a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, my name's Rico. I'm a father of 5. Rest in peace to 1, my oldest son. I'm a business owner here in Zion, Illinois, Dada Soul. I don't know, you know?
Okay. Some of the best fried catfish around.
Most definitely.
You can catch me in there at least every Tuesday. Matter of fact, I might have to stop by there after this.
Oxtail Tuesday, FYI, Oxtail Tuesday. It's a whole lot of advertisement I can do, but this is not about that. Thank you for the invite.
Of course. And then next we have Miss Maya.
My name is Maya. I am a mother of 7. I lost my daughter last year, February 20th, 2024. Mine is gone. It's pretty much and I'm a caregiver, been doing it for 15 years, and I continue caring for the elderly as well as I do for my kids.
And then thank you so much for that, my love. Next, we have Mrs. Finesse.
Hello, I'm Finesse. I'm a mother of two, one in which I lost my oldest daughter July 12th of 2023. I was born and raised here in Lake County area, and I'm a human resource specialist at the VA in North Chicago. I've been there almost 10 years now, and thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. Like I've heard so much about you, and things take time, you know. So I believe that this was no mistake that all of us is here, and I'll get again more into that a little bit later. But up next, we have Pastor ReGina.
Hi, my name is ReGina Moore. I am the COO of Legacy Reentry Foundation and also a pastor at Christian Faith Fellowship Church with Bishop E. James and Pastor Deborah Logan.
I love it. That's my church. Y'all come every Sunday at 9. I'm usually there about 9 on a good day. Sometimes on a bad day, catch me at about 9, about 9:15. But I'm there in the house of the Lord. Okay. This episode, I do want to put a little warning out there. It can get a little bit heavy. So if you have children or if it's a subject that might trigger you, you know, you can turn it off or keep watching because it may also bring a little bit of healing. So thank you for each of you just for being here. You didn't have to accept the offer, but for myself, I know that I needed people. I needed a community, and I needed people to help guide me through. And when I say like each of you played a part, whether it was reaching out or saying hi, it really means a lot. And Pastor ReGina, I just remember the way you grabbed me when you found out, like the way you grabbed me, the way you talked to me, the way you held me, let me cry, but then you talked, you spoke to me with so much power just to help me through those moments. And I feel like in those moments, and this next part is basically about like how you feel, right? So you made me feel so comfortable, and I was able to like really open up to you in those moments. So I just really want to say thank you. So, all right, before I'm gonna start crying early, y'all. Let me stop. Once again, this subject can get a little heavy, so just bear with us. But Rico, what's something that made you smile today?
Waking up.
Amen.
First and foremost, what makes me smile is actually what keeps me busy to keep my days going, you know, are my children and my business. What makes me smile is making sure that people are fed, people eat, you know, and then I'm here. I mean, I'm here. I woke up this morning. I'm blessed. So just waking up and being able to give it another shot, give life another shot, you know, I'm blessed. I'm happy for that. Yeah.
Because some days that's hard.
Yeah. Oh, it's hard sometimes. Yeah. It's very hard sometimes.
Miss Maya, what made you smile today?
It's funny because I posted it up yesterday on my live. My baby thought that a little brown piece of paper was like boo-boo. So I'm like, ew. And she was like, and she's only 2. So she's grabbing her other sibling and she was like, come, mommy did it. Mommy did it. So it's every day when I wake up, like I said, don't get me wrong. There's days when I'm like, I can't do this no more. But it's always not to say that it's something dumb that they do. It's just something that they do that makes you like, I can't miss the next moment. Because something might be crazier than the last moment that they just, you know, reflected on me. And I'm finna miss out on it. So that's what makes me wake up and smile every day, because I can be so down, then all of a sudden they do something so crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I got some more crazy stuff to see. So... But one more thing before you go to the next person. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
I got a grandbaby that's coming.
Come on, Grandma.
Congratulations.
Yes. And the kicker part is, thank you, she's coming. Well, I don't know if it's a boy or girl yet, but grandbaby is actually coming on my daughter who passed birthday.
Wow.
So I have another reason to smile and another reason to stay, because that one, she liked to spend my money. So now I have
like,
her
"Don't worry,
coming.
I'm
Yeah,
coming
she
back."
coming back. She's coming back to me. Yeah. So that's another reason.
Oh, I love that. That is definitely a reason to smile. Come on, G-Ma. Now we got to think of some creative names to
I
call
know.
you.
I've been thinking.
G-Ma, Grandma, Grandma,
I don't want
Nana.
the played out names. I want the, the hip ones.
You got to find you something to go along with it. All right, Miss Finesse, give me something that made you smile today.
Just waking up in my home to my son, and I have a boyfriend that's very supportive.
Come
Has
on,
been
boo
with
thing.
me to hell and back with the situation. Just waking up, getting my son ready for school, knowing I still have a reason to go on.
I love that.
Right now, that's about the only thing that makes me smile. And I have great friends and support
Yeah,
and family. Let me not leave out my family.
please. You know what's hard about
Very
that?
supportive.
Sometimes I forget. Like my friends have been like really, really here, but like my family has all. For me, sometimes I forget my family is suffering a loss too, and I don't know how to place myself. Like I don't know how to come around them because I'm not always. Sometimes I feel like my friends are able to comfort me in a different way because I don't want to put my burden off on my family who's already
Grieving with you.
Yeah, they're grieving with me. So sometimes I feel like I hate to say it, but that I'm a burden. Like if I'm coming around, I'm crying, I'm sad, and things like that.
Very
like
much.
how selfish am I? Because y'all are grieving too. So I went into a space of isolation. And I'll be honest, I think I'm still there. It's coming out slowly, especially like from my family, because I don't know how to properly be around them grieving how I am. So I completely understand, because sometimes it's just like, yeah, my friends, and I say my family too, but I'm like, dang, I ain't even really been around. So I have to sit back and think like
My family is really close.
Yeah.
I have a real close family, very supportive.
Yeah.
And again, they feel the same. Of course, no one feels the same pain as
Right.
us as parents, but as close as my family is, they definitely feel
Yeah.
how I feel.
Yeah.
And they're with me every step of the way.
Oh, I love that. Ain't nothing like a supportive family. Like, I'm so grateful for mine. So I definitely understand. And I don't want to leave you out, Miss Regina. Give me something that made you smile today.
I had a crispy fried chicken sandwich from Popeyes.
You know, you.
That made me smile. That made me happy.
You know we needed you here today.
But I am gonna go to Dada Soul when I finish here and give me some oxtails. Yes.
Should have bought me a biscuit and some honey, because that sounds. I need.
And sometimes that Popeyes it be hit or miss, but today, them pickles.
Right there.
Yeah.
Which one you go to? The one in North Chicago, the
North
one
Chicago,
in Waukegan?
baby.
That's the only one to go to. No offense to the ones in Waukegan, but it's something
Offend
about
them.
that North
Close
Chicago-
it.
Close all the chicken spots and come to Dada's.
Hold on, but you be closed on one day. We can't do that.
Monday.
Days I am closed.
I went up there one day. I was like, I'm
I need a day off, and I'm not even off on them days.
Right.
So, staying busy.
my bad. Sorry, I want fish on Monday.
Right.
All right, so Rico, tell us a little bit about your child, who they were, what he loved, things like that.
Rest in peace, Rico. Little Rico. That was my oldest son. He loved the Cowboys like I did. You feel me? I lost him maybe 5 months after I opened up Dada Soul, which was probably the hardest thing, because all of your stress and all of your energy is going towards your business to trying to be successful. And then you get a phone call 2-something in the morning, to tell you the tragic. He loved the Cowboys. He loved games. He was
He was a gamer.
Boy. I mean, I was a single father for a long time, for about 5 or 6 years. You know, my oldest 3 children, and once their mother got, herself together, she was able to take one of the girls, and I had 2 of my children. And little Rico used to get people to braid all of our hair. Out without even asking, like, hey, we gonna need our hair braided. No, if we out at the mall or something like that, he gonna go up. You know how to braid? Oh, okay. I don't know. I got somebody like that on my corner. So yeah, he was a comedian. And I mean, he was a protector of his sisters and of his community. When he passed, he was in California. He died under a DUI situation. He was in a car accident. No seatbelt on. He was in the back seat. Car flipped. He flew out the window. Face ran over. He was in the vehicle with his mother and his sister. His sister was the one who basically had to grab him out of the street so he wouldn't get messed up by any other cars. While, once I got the phone call, I had to go to California. And at that time, he was probably away from me for about a year. A little bit over a year, I want to say. And hearing his friends speak on him is how I was learning who he was older, becoming a teenager, things like that. And what I've heard, basically, he was a clown. You know what I'm saying?
Where you got that from?
Right. He was a clown. He had my personality, and he was able to bring people together. And at the same time, a couple of the stories that I've heard, not just from one, but from many people, he'll clown them at first, initially talk about whatever, their shoes, their knees or whatever. But yet at the same time, somebody else talk about him, he own them. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you can't do that. Nah, that's just for me. So he was a protective of his friends. A very lovable, fun little boy that was into sports, basketball and football. You swear he talked so much doo-doo. He talked more doo-doo than I did. I think he learned it from me. So his doo-doo talking was immaculate. Yeah. So he was a gamer.
Okay.
We PlayStation family. He was in sports. He was my boy.
How old is he?
He would be turning 21 this year. And just thinking of where he would be, what he would do, because he was literally the one that said, "All right, Pop, when you tired of the restaurant, I'm taking care of you." Yeah, I like that. But unfortunately, he never was able to visit. And that's, and it's crazy with that. Before he passed, I have over 7 different lemonades, okay? All of them are named after my children, my grandchildren, my family like that, okay? So when you come, make sure you try Little Rico. Little Rico, he blue raspberry lemonade. A couple of weeks before he left us, he all of a sudden became the biggest seller. The biggest seller. Like his lemonade, like it was going. And once it happened, it's like I got to double up on him alone. I have a lot of different lemonades, but Lil Rico is the favorite of out of all the lemonades. So, he is my guardian angel. He looks over the restaurant often. I know he's there. So, he was a good guy. He was fun. He was happy. He liked games. Back to your original question. My bad. I done went all the way off.
No, you're good. So what, and like I said, people always create their own narrative of different things. When you hear something, everyone's just like, Oh, just assuming what happened. So what do you wish that people would stop assuming about your story? Or has anyone assumed or said anything?
No, because my story is posted.
Okay.
When people walk into the restaurant, they're going to see a big old memorial of him with his pictures and stuff like that. I mean, just knowing that, you know, that I'm a family man, and he was like, he was, nobody ever questioned.
Good.
The support system is real, even when it happened. And for an example, I wasn't in business for 5 months, maybe. Tragic happens. I go to California to retrieve his body, make sure that his friends and family out there was able to say their goodbyes.
Take your time.
No, it's a lot. Just I done lost train of thought, to be honest. My brain done went somewhere.
Okay. Okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Take your time.
It's normal.
Very
Yeah.
normal.
It's normal.
Support system is real. So I'm out there in California. I had to spend, I think it took me like 4 or 5 days to retrieve his body to make sure that he was able to come home to me. I get a phone call from somebody I never met before, never even talked to, and open up his establishment for me to have something here in Illinois for his family and friends here. Stretch. He called me, and I don't even know how bruh got my number, you know, and from support systems like that comes from
Yeah.
nowhere, you know, just coming from somewhere is important.
Yeah.
You know, it's real important because they're not feeling the pain, but they know it's pain.
Yeah.
You know, and if they can help or do something to try to ease your pain, I think it's real big to have that support system. Family is big, you know. So I don't know.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing. We're gonna head over to you, Miss Maya. Tell us about your child. Who she was. What did she love? Just give us a little bit about her.
Ooh. Here go the ugly cry.
That's okay.
They said you was gonna be first.
No.
Okay. Oh. So, Harmony passed away last year due to suicide. My baby was 10. You think like all the stuff that we go through, a 10-year-old, you know, that's the question I get asked so much was, what would make a 10-year-old do that? I don't know. You don't think that parents and kids don't stress? Like, I don't know. Harmony was bubbly. That girl was a scorpion that would tell you, she would see you right now with them socks and that shirt. Baby, she'd be like, what you got on? Harmony was just so out there. Just her whole personality. She would tell, like when I would walk in and I'd have something that didn't look right, she'll tell me, Ma, go try again. No. She would be my little best friend and tell me, go try that again, Ma, because it's not, whatever you think is given, go take it back.
It ain't.
And that's just how she was with everybody. Sitting here reflecting on everything, I'm just like you. My train of thought is gone. I think about the little stuff, the big stuff. Then when we get off of here and we go home, here come everything that we wanted to say. So I work. I've always worked. I had no type of assistance. Maybe the little Medicaid and the link. That's all I got. I didn't get nothing else, no help. I worked full time. Both their fathers, well, I have 7 kids, 3 fathers, one by, how do I say it? one father's 5, which includes Harmony, and 2 other father, 1 more. So they each have their own. 2 they're still incarcerated. So everything is, the baggage is on me. It's always on me. It's always been on me because it's just been an in and out, in and out, in and out. So I've always been, since I was little, seeing my mom work. That's what I'm supposed to do for my kids. So that's what my mind is trained and taught to do. Work, take care of your kids, make sure you have a place for them to stay, food on the table. That's the most I can do. That's all I did. I worked so much that I really didn't pay attention to some of the little signs that I was supposed to. At least I thought everything was okay because, hey, next you're going to get a knock on the door, DCFS coming to check in, see why you're homeless, why your kids not getting taken care of. I just got off of work. I had an injury on my arm because I was working too much. So I injured my arm. This was February 20th. Now, way before this, like I said, she's my money baby. She gets taxes, so she had the biggest parties. That was the tax baby. So we called her tax baby. I swear, I was broke. I was so broke, but it was, man, she got Christmas and tax money. Or the other kids used to be like, why did she get all of this? You should have had us when you had her. I'm like, no, that would have been worse. But just before that, I found out that everything was finna hit. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have some money. I spoke with her. Her birthday is on the 16th. She passed away on the 20th. So I'm like, okay, in my head, I got party, hotel. She loves swimming. So we was gonna go to a party, book a hotel room, and go skating, just invite a couple friends and just, and here we go. I'm on the phone with her dad. We're talking. He just got off the phone with all the kids, trying to check in and see how they doing. I have a T-shirt on because I can't have nothing touching my legs when I go to sleep. It's just irritating. Had a T-shirt on. I'm getting ready to pop the baby in the bed with me. I couldn't even pop that second leg in. And all of a sudden, I hear, Ma, but it's not that exciting Ma or like that, they found $1 million outside and the thing. It wasn't that Ma. It was, first it turned from Ma to Mommy. It was a flight of stairs that we were at. I stopped at the top stairs and I tried to find myself walking down, but running. I tried to run, but my legs almost gave out on me. So I almost fell down, tumbling, trying to get to her. But the door was wide open. We just got through having her auntie had cooked a meal. I don't even remember what we ate, but I know it was good because everybody was fat and full. And we got in an argument with her that day. And that's why I don't like to argue with my kids so much, and everybody's always telling me, don't yell at your kids, something's gonna happen. And that's just, when people tell me that, it floats through my mind. I don't need to be reminded every day, don't yell at them, because it floats constantly in my mind that I have to go back, oh shoot, I yelled at him today. Let me go apologize and tell him I'm sorry, because that floats through my mind. Her aunt, my brother brought her back in the house. Me, I've been doing caregiving. I've been a CNA for almost 16 years. I know the signs. I know what to see. I know what to notice. But in my mom body, in my mom head, I was hoping no. Because when they brought her in, she had already urinated on herself. So I'm like, no. In my head, I'm like, in my head, I'm asking God, like, God, let it be one of those movies, where you have that fairy tale that you just sit there and you say, God, not me right now. Not me, just give me one more Give me one more chance to straighten up what I did wrong. And I was just praying. We laid her down on the floor. I know what to do. I'm a CNA. I know how to do CPR. I know how to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm in the field. I didn't remember what to do. I did not remember what to do. So we're pumping. We're constantly pumping. I said, and I tell them, continue. Y'all keep going. I knew my next door neighbor was a retired Marine or something in the Army somewhere. So I'm like, come help me in my pajamas, nothing else, just my pajamas. And I'm like, please help me, help me. Nothing else came out. Help me is all I could say. Help me, help me, help her, help her, help her. He came. I'm not gonna lie. I was mad at this man because he stood at my door and didn't watch. He just watched. He just watched. But he knew what I knew, but he gave me my time to at least get that moment.
Yeah.
I told him to stop. I just told him to stop. And I picked her up because I know after that, there's no more touching of her. You can't touch her no more because now they got to investigate to see what happened. And I told him, move. All my kids was there. Her aunt, my brother was there. And I said, just stop. Stop. And I just picked her up and I held her for the last time. And I just held her. What reflected bad was, you know, you have a child at the hospital. 3 days later, they're coming home. But now you take them to the hospital and they're staying there.
Yeah. Yes.
And this reflected bad because it was just 3 days after her birthday. So now I had all these plans, just like you got them random emails. I got the random, hey, your reservation is coming up for the 20th, but instead I'm planning the whole funeral.
And sometimes that's the hardest part, getting those random messages, random emails, and things that constantly bring it up, especially when it just, and it doesn't stop unless you remember everything that you signed up for. You know, like I put out on social media the other day, I got a message for my Amazon Kid. I got a whole charge in my account for Amazon. I thought I had stopped this Amazon Kid thing last year. I got it while I was at church. I said, "Oh, devil, you playing with me. You are playing with me," because sometimes for me, church has been really hard for me to go to.
Mm-hmm.
I start to get panic attacks, anxiety, and I be ready to go. Every Sunday, I walk in there and I be ready to go as soon as I walk in. And for a while, I didn't go. Like I started going, I was going strong. Me and God was getting back cool. And because I was angry at God. And I'm like, you know what? No, I can do this. I went back, for a few months. I joined the choir. I was feeling good. Mother's Day came around. I said, yep, nope, I'm not going to church this Sunday. His birthday, then Mother's Day, then Father's Day, I still wasn't at church. I said, oh no, I can't do it. So it's those constant reminders, and I'm like, I can't continue to do this, like to be as angry as I am. And God accepts my anger, but I still believe and I still trust him. But I just got so angry. So, Miss Finesse, tell us a little bit about your baby.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know your story. When we walked in, I didn't know that was your daughter. I didn't know your story. I just know we're all here for the same reason. So.
Told you it's like a secret society that you don't even want to be a part of.
Yes.
You never imagine.
You never know. Everybody be smiling.
Yeah. And everyone has different ages, different stories of how it happened. even though our story is kind of sort of similar, it's not kind of sort of similar, and then there are different ages and things like that. So only thing you could do is like empathize with people. I always try to tell somebody, I don't know what you're going through. Like, I don't know your journey,
But I understand.
But I understand. I know mine, you know? So I'm sorry, love.
I lost my daughter July 12th of 2023. She was shot by her boyfriend, her and a friend of hers in Waukegan. She was 18 years old. She would have been 21 this December 20th. She had just graduated high school. May of 2023. I got her out of high school. She was a loving person. She was goofy. She loved
Pretty too.
she was gorgeous. She loved music. She loved her family. She loved her friends. She was just this loyal person. She was, again, she had a lot of my personality. She was goofy, but she didn't play. She didn't play about her friends. She didn't play about her family. You know, once she locked in with you, she locked in, you know. And that's how she was raised, you know. Just be loyal to the people that's loyal to you. And she was always like that from a little girl. She liked to cheer. And she didn't like school much. So when she graduated, that was big for me because she never really liked school, but she did it for me. She never liked to disappoint me. Never liked to disappoint me. She was the typical teenager, you know. She had dated one other guy before the guy that committed the crime. And I didn't know much about him. I had heard about him a few times prior to what happened. They had been knowing each other since they was about 14. And I started finding out a lot of things about him after the incident. Like, he had been in and out of jail since he was 14 years old, and, you know, and here she comes strolling in my house. Hey, Mom, this is such and such. And I'm like, oh, you know, okay. And I'm like, I've heard about you before, but there was something about this person that I just...
It's that mother's intuition.
It was their intuition. My son, the same way. You know how kids have that intuition.
If they like you, they like you. If they don't,
He
they
did not.
just don't.
Yeah, so she had been dating him. And again, I couldn't really get into him. And I was like, maybe it's because I like the last guy she was with. I don't know. And I just brushed it off as that. It was, again, July 12th. And she had been at my sister's house all week. Again, she had just graduated high school, so she was had just started working, so she had a little more free time to where she was, you know, hanging out at my sister's house. So that's where she hung out at with my niece and nephews a lot. And that day, she came home. Earlier that morning, he had taken her to get her car. So her car was in the shop. And that day, she just came home. And I was braiding someone's hair when she came home. But she stayed home with me all day. But again, she had been gone at my sister's house throughout the week. And I had seen her because I was taking her back and forth to get her things settled with her car. Of course, I was paying for it. And so she left out. And she said, Mom, I'm going to get something to eat. And I'm going to, let me think, how did it go? She said she was going to get something to eat. And he had pulled up. And I just closed the door. And so when they left, I told her, go get my nieces from camp, which was down the street. And she took my car. It was raining that day. Her wipers wasn't working. So she left and she went to get something to eat. She came back and my nieces came in the house and they brought me my car keys. And I said, where did Bree go? And they said she went to get her phone from her boyfriend. So come to find out later on, they had gotten in an argument and he took her phone. She took his keys. So he took off walking. And she had his keys. So she went to get her phone from him, give him his keys. And she jumped in the car with her friend, who was a childhood friend of hers, who was like a niece to me as well. She was always around. And so I got a call maybe about 45 minutes later. And my family started coming over as I'm getting the call because it was my uncle's birthday. And then my cousin, my first cousin, she has a set of twins on the same day. So we were getting ready to have a birthday celebration at my house for them. And so my family is coming in. And I remember my grandmother and my aunt came in. They're like, it's a lot of police down there by Hotspot. And I was like, I don't even want to repeat what I said, but my niece called me maybe 10 minutes later and she's like, TT, where is Bree? And I said, she went down the street. And she said, 2 girls just got killed by Hotspot. And I was like, okay. I said, let me call her. Still not thinking. And so I called her phone and she didn't answer. And so I'm like cleaning up and I'm like, she'll call back. I set the phone down. She called back about maybe 3 minutes later and she said, TT, did she answer? And I said, no. She said, it was 2 girls. And she said, one of them was pregnant. And she said, and Bree is pregnant. And I didn't know my baby was pregnant at the time. And a few days prior, she told me, she said, Mom, I need to talk to you. And I said, okay, we'll talk, And she said, I just been stressed. And I said, well, you start your new job, And I'm planning us a vacation, we'll have some time to talk. And so anyway, I said, what? She said, yeah. And I said, okay, I'm about to go down there. So I told my uncle and my aunt, everybody in the house, and my uncle said, come on, let's go down there. So we went down there and it was a lot of police. And it was already people there. And I'm just confused. And I'm like, is anybody checking her location on her phone? And I didn't check it because I just, in the moment, I wasn't thinking. And so the police wouldn't give us any information. And I asked the guy that was standing, because it happened in the back of an apartment building. And there was a gate separating, so we couldn't see in the back. And so I asked a guy that was standing there. No, he came up towards us and he asked, does one of them have on a blonde wig? And I said, no, she didn't have on a blonde wig. She left out with her hair up in a ponytail. And I said, does one of them have on a red sweater? And he said, the driver got on a red sweater. And I said, that's my baby. And my auntie was like, no, we can't claim it. We can't claim that. That's my baby. I know that's my baby. So we went to the police station. And again, they couldn't give us any information at the time. And so I was calling her dad, and I'm like, you need to get down here. And so I never went back to the scene. As I just, in my heart, I knew it was her. Yeah. And I couldn't take it. Yeah. So her dad stayed, and he he identified her, and it was hours and hours of me just sitting. I'm trying to laugh and joke, and it's not her, and it's just, I don't know. I can't even remember how many emotions I felt in those hours leading up to. Then I kept calling my cousin. I kept saying, do you know anything? And I think he knew at the time, but he didn't want to tell me. And then when her dad walked through my front door, I knew it. And again, I didn't know she was pregnant. A few days later, I found out that she was pregnant with twins. By him. And so he was taken into custody that day. And it's just been, this has been life since that day.
So what's one, and I only ask this question because, people assume so much. What's one thing you feel like people assume, or what has been an assumption around your story?
A lot of people saying that she was in a domestic situation. Her friends probably know more than I did.
Yeah.
But she was pretty honest and open with me. And I asked her, they had a big argument before. And he was calling me and he's like, I just want to check on her and make sure she made it home. Mm-hmm. This was probably a month prior. And I said, do y'all be fighting? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay. Now, the guy that she was with before, they got into a couple physical fights. But with him,
no.
So I didn't expect that with him. But again, after everything unfolded, it made more sense. And a lot of people were saying that I knew. I didn't know. I just knew that he wasn't right. And there was an incident about 2 months before with him, and just like something he did to get her attention, and it worked because she had left him alone, and it worked. He got her attention, and she started back dealing with him, and I was like, he's not normal. And so leading up to that day, she had told me, Mom, I'm done with him. I can't do it. And she was 18, so I wasn't down her back like, leave him alone, because you know how we were when we were, I got pregnant with her when I was 17. And I had her when I was 17, so we grew up together, basically. And I know how it is to be a teenage girl. So I wasn't on her all the time about it, but I would tell her, like we would have normal conversations because, again, we were pretty open with each other. Well, more so her than me because, I couldn't tell her everything that I do. And so we had become besties, should I say. Not best friends because, some things I can't do with my best friend that I can do with my daughter, and I'm still your mom at the end of the day. So it was kind of like an, you need to get out of that situation fast, but it wasn't fast enough.
I want to thank each of you for sharing your story. I won't leave mine out. So my angel baby, his name is Caleb, and he's forever 4. And I like to tell my story because and this is where friends and family come in, right? So we get into it I know the time. It was 8:13. Like I feel like it was around 8:13. And a car hit us, and it was just out of nowhere. So I do this thing every morning with him to where I'm going to set the scene a little bit. In the morning, we woke up, and I was working from home. No, I had started a new job at the time. And so I believe I was working at home that day. But I'm a firm believer, go to school. Like, I grew up, I always worked in early child care. So I'm a firm believer, take your kids to school, So I let him sleep in a little bit later. He woke up and he just sat on the bed. Like, he woke up on his own. I was in the living room. Usually my mom would cook him breakfast because I was staying with my mom at the time. Usually my mom would start his breakfast, and I would go finish it. But that morning she wasn't up yet. So I'm like, okay. I went in there. I went in the living room, in the kitchen, and started cooking his breakfast. And when I went back in the room, he was just sitting up on the bed rubbing his eyes, and he was like, hug, mommy. I'm like, okay. So I laid there, tussled with him for a minute, kissed him, hugged him, and things like that. Because he never really said full sentences. I had him in speech therapy, and he would either say, like, hug. But for him to say, hug, mommy, was, like, mind-blowing to me. So we played a good deal. That's one thing that I regret, too. Because I'm like, I should have just been like, no, come on, let's go. But I didn't. I stayed there and played for a minute. Got up, he ate breakfast, and then we left. We left out the back door and got in the car and drove to school. We were on our way to school. And some days I take Green Bay, sometimes I take Lewis to Sunset and up to his school. That day I took Lewis, turned on Sunset, and a car hit it. I didn't know what happened. We just got rocked. He was on his tablet. I remember him on his tablet. And I usually play this game where I reach back, I touch his leg. I'm like, you gonna have a good day at school? Or I love you? Or no, you gonna have a good day at school today? And he'll be like, yes, because I was teaching him how to say yes. He knew how to say no. That boy, he knew how to say no. But that yes I was trying to teach him how to use it correctly. So I'm like, you gonna have a good day at school? And I remember he didn't answer me. And I'm like, all right, maybe he just on his tablet, he don't want to talk. I'm like, you have a good day at school? He ain't answer. So I'm like, okay. After that moment, driving, the car just hit us. I'm trying to figure out, like, what happened. I'm kind of in a daze. My hand is split open, and it feels like a dream. Like, it literally felt like a dream. So I open the car door. I feel like, as I'm saying this, it feels like a movie. I open the car door. I fall out because both my knees, they were both like, this knee, my right knee was broken, and my left knee was fractured. So I literally fell out my SUV. And this guy, I was doing my food reviews and stuff around that time. So this white guy, he came out and he was like, ma'am, are you okay? Are you okay? And I couldn't answer. He told this black guy to hold me. And so I laid down on his lap and I look under and I'm like, my baby's in the car. Like, it finally clicked. I'm like, my baby. They're like, the white guy goes, I need help with the car seat. And once they got him out the car, I knew he was gone. Because they laid him down on the car. Like, I could see him underneath the car. And he had, like, blood coming from his nose. And I knew he was gone. I was like, my baby, he gone. And they was like, no, don't say that. Don't say that. Mama, no. Mama knew. They take me in the ambulance. We go. And the whole time, I'm like, my baby, mind you, my hand cut open. I got scratches and bruises, like, all over. And the first thing I did when I fell out the car, I'm like, I need my phone. I need to call my job. Why do I need to call my job? Like, I had a meeting at 9 o'clock that I was getting ready to miss. I'm like, I need to call my job. And this was before I knew even before it clicked in about, like, no. This was after he laid out. I'm like, I need my phone. And so we got to the hospital. They're coming and asking me different questions about him. And I'm answering. I'm like, I want to see my baby. Like, give me my baby. Where is my baby? This lady comes in and she's like, you need to come say goodbye. For what? Goodbye for what are you saying to me? So they wheel me in the room with him and I just touch his diaper. I touch his hand. And he didn't even look like him. I couldn't even look him in the face. And it's moments like that I regret because I couldn't look him in the face. I feel like I did not look him in the face long enough, but I was screaming because whoever hit us, I didn't know where he was at, but I was yelling and hopefully he heard me like, you killed my baby, you killed my baby. And so after, I remember a lot of people were around. I had pastors coming in and out. I had different people. My whole family was there. And And it was so quick. Like, I feel like everything happened so quick. We got to the hospital. They told me he passed. The family had already called his dad. His dad's calling me. And I see someone coming past. And I remember this, and I still regret it to this day, but I didn't know. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. This person came walking past, like, organ donors. I'm like, I think they're coming to get, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I think they're coming to get his organs already. Da, da. And he was like, no, like, don't say that, you know, whatever. I'm like, I don't know what to do right now. But it wasn't for him. So I was like, okay, breathe. So I left the hospital with my aunt, and that trauma kicked in right away because I don't know anything else that happened after I got in the car with my aunt. I don't know which way we drove home. I don't know what I did when I got home. Only thing I know is that I got in the bed that we shared, and his dad was there, and his father lives in Georgia, and he was there by the time I got out the hospital. But mind you, I can't remember what time I got out, but I know the sun was still shining, and it was still light outside. And the question I asked you about people assuming, I remember people were telling me, like, it was on the Lake County scanner, what had happened. You know, people talking, they say what they want to say. Oh, he probably wasn't in a seatbelt. He da-da-da. I was a teacher all my life. I nannied children. I know how to put in a car seat. He was in the right car seat for his weight class. He was strapped in correctly. And this is just to clear up anything. My son was strapped in correctly. The impact is what ultimately happened. So I just want to give you guys time to clear up your story, because I know what it's like to have someone paint their own narrative. And because I was also hurt, I was so glad that friends and family came to my defense in the comments, like just defending me, knowing that. Pastor ReGina, I want to come to you. In these moments, how can faith help during grief?
Wow, that's a powerful question. I think that I'll use Rico for an example, because I pretty much had a front seat with his grief. Rico is a phenomenal father. He's always been somebody, if you know anything about him, you know he really just loves his kids. He just does. And I think that when you go through something like grief, especially the type of grieving that Rico went through, some grief is multi-layered, right? Rico's grief was multi-layered because his daughter was there with him, with his son, and his daughter was now traumatized because of what happened to his son. And the multi-layer of it was, if you don't mind me saying, Rico, the woman that he had his son with was the cause of the accident. And so when you have that type of grief, and when you have that type of multi-layered trauma, I'll be honest with you, faith is not the first thing that you're looking at. If you're somebody who hasn't been walking by faith, even if you're somebody who's been walking by faith, it's not always easy to go to your faith first.
Yeah.
Because you're so inundated by the pain of it. What I will say is, a lot of people, as they're going through grief, they understand that God is still good, and that his love is enduring, and his love is not going to leave us nor forsake us. And I think watching Rico go through that with his family and the different people that surrounded him is what made it easier for him, if you don't mind me saying that, Rico, to even, people were praying for him. Our church was praying for them. People were visiting. People were there. People were helping him experience some of the loss. People were constantly just reaching out. And so sometimes it may not even necessarily be your faith.
Yeah.
It could be the people that are around you's faith that are making you who you are in that moment. And I'll even use her for example. I didn't know her, but I knew of the situation.
Yeah.
Right. And so Myolita knew her, and Myolita was telling me what was going on, and we were praying for her and for her family to get through it, because sometimes you don't know. And especially if it's a community thing, one side is on the person who's done it. Then you have the family who's grieving.
Yeah.
So it's a multiplicity kind of sort of thing. Different narratives are spun. Even for you, the couple of times that God has allowed me to be there for you, a lot of times people don't understand. It's okay to say that you're angry at God.
Yeah.
It's okay. And I think for so long, people think that that's not okay. It's okay, because he needs to know the truest form of where you're at, because then he can minister to you and you can tell him how angry you are, how upset you are, how disappointed you are, because that's what he wants to hear. He didn't cause it.
Yeah.
Some things just happen. And so I think that your faith is something that you lean to, maybe not necessarily right in that moment, because you still have to process grief. It's not something that you can just, okay, I'm going to handle it like this. It ebbs and flows. 1 minute you're good, the next minute you're not. And I've never lost a child, but I've lost my father.
Yeah.
And so I understand sometimes it takes different experiences to bring out a level of faith. And faith may not be the first thing that people think about.
Not at all. I know for myself.
I know I asked why.
Oh yeah,
That
definitely.
was the first question. Why? Why him? Like,
Yeah.
but questioning, like, I think that's, I won't say human nature, but it's that why. Why did you let that happen to me?
Yeah.
That's now it's hit home. It's not somebody that you can read about on Facebook. It's actually in your house.
Yeah.
So it's hard to question,
Yeah.
so I understand where you came from. Not like I'm a huge church goer or anything like that, but
It's still that faith
like,
that you have.
like Pastor ReGina said, I met them a while ago, but knowing how strong my family is
Yeah.
I knew that I had the church. I knew I had them praying over me, but at the same time, it's like, why?
I know Carlos reminds me of one thing, and that's Boy Those Crazy. Like, he reminds me of something that I said when he came over to the house. For those who don't know, like, Carlos has been, he's always been like a brother to me. And so he was there right as I got home, and he was helping me up the steps because I couldn't walk. And he always reminds me that I said, God, you owe me. And I don't even, still to this day, like, I don't know what that means. I don't know why I said it, but I'm just like, God, you owe me. Like, I had the family, the house, the child, and then all of a sudden I didn't have the family, the house, then I didn't have the child because we were going through a separation. And it's like I felt like I lost so much during that time. Within a year, I literally lost, like, my marriage, a house that we shared, moved back home, lost my job, graduated with my bachelor's, and then lost my son. And so that year was like a really rocky year for me. But when I said, God, like, you owe me, and I want to touch back on something that you said. I want to ask all you guys something. You said something about community and how people were there and things like that. I know for me, I had just moved back. I don't even think it was a full year yet that I had been back, or maybe it had just been a year. And I was just getting back acclimated for being gone for 5 years. And community really, like, showed up and showed out for me. We had different, and I don't want to miss a name, so I don't want to say anyone, but I had different restaurants who helped feed my family, not even just that day, but over the course of time. We had different people who, from the funeral home, who donated things. Like, people were giving things to the school. Like, it was a lot, and I'm so grateful and thankful for community. It was people who would not let me quit or give up also, because it was moments where I was done. Like, he was my only child. What am I, God, why am I still here? Like, what do you, even in that moment, God, why did you not take, what? Like, so you expect me to keep living? Like, that's crazy. But I'm thankful for the community who stayed around and helped me. Do any of you feel like you did or didn't have as much community support or family support? And if so or if not, like, how do you feel like that affects you? I'll start over here with Finesse.
I had a lot of support. It was so much, it was overwhelming. And again, I have a huge family. So I can't remember much from that time, but I remember my house being so packed from the inside out that my cousin was like, I'm going to get you, and my boyfriend name is Ryan, you get a hotel for the night. My house was crazy.
Yeah.
And friends of my family, and just people that I hadn't seen in years, you know, showed up, brought food, anything you need help with, just let me know. Just that type of thing. But even still to this day, I still have a lot of support.
Yeah, and I'm so grateful too. Like family really, friends and family like still come around, and even in that moment, it was so. I didn't have any words. Like, I was quiet. I was mute. Like, and then like you said, like, you made jokes and you said certain things, and I would too. And it was crazy because the other day, Sunday, it was church. I left church, and I don't know, dark humor just got me. And I'm like...
You know, I thought you said Saturday. I was trying to think so hard. I said, when was she there? Because I was there Saturday.
No.
But go ahead.
No, Sunday at church. When I left church, I went to go hang out with some friends, and dark humor just got me. And they was looking at me so confused. And I'm just like, I'm literally laughing. I'm like, oh yeah, you want to go see me up the street? Like, he's at the funeral home. Hi. And I'm laughing uncontrollably until I start crying. And my cousin was like, I knew something was wrong.
It kicked in.
It kicked in. It hit me. So I'm glad to have people around that notices, like, either triggers or things like that. So, Maya, how do you feel like community, do you feel like you had community and family at the time? And do you have that now?
At the time, I thought I had family. The way she passed, like how we see everybody's stories on the Lake County Scanner, and they assume, and she's a bad mom because she tried to help out with the kids, and that's not her job, not knowing my baby loved her little sister. She would hip her. From time to time, she's crying, she's hipping her. Mom, let me get the baby, let me wash her up, But